To call the Wilson County Commission meeting to order of July the 19th, 2021. Welcome all of our guests that are here today and invite you to come back at any opportunity that you can. At this time, we'll introduce Commissioner Scruggs to do our prayer and pledge for the night. And we'd ask you to rise, please.
I've got Doug Raines to do the prayer. Come on up, Doug. He owns D&R Automotive here in Lebanon. Real good friend of mine.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the night, Lord, for this opportunity to be here with these people, Lord. And we ask you, Lord, to bless each man and woman that's here representing each district here tonight, Lord, that you may give them the knowledge and wisdom to do the things that are right for our county and for the people they represent, Lord. We pray for each one that's lost loved ones, Lord, and all the sick, wherever they might be, Lord. And most of all, we pray for the ones that are lost, Lord, they may find you sweet peace for your soul, Lord. Again, be with everyone that's here tonight, Lord, and bless them may they depart. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Doug, will you tell them why I really didn't want you to come to the prayer tonight?
Mr. Hutto says every time he sees me, it costs him money because he has to come to my shop for me to work on his car. So see how this turns out.
You should slow down.
I will let you know if it happens. No, thank you for being here. Every time I run into Doug at Kroger or Walmart somewhere, next day I have to take my car to him. So I kind of cringed on that one, didn't I? Please press yes on your panel to record your presence at tonight's meeting, please.
Well, it's not working.
Here we go again.
No, we don't buy a new system.
I'll just raise your hand. Come on. All absent.
Huh? Ain't got a quorum, we have to call the meeting off. There we go.
You working?
Now it's working. Oh. That's not good. Mr. Bernard, what about Mr. Bernard? He's here. You got your present on yours? Yep. Commissioner Justice is not here, and Commissioner Rich is not here.
And he's not here.
Okay? That's good, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you good?
Well,
22 present and 3 absent.
I'm here. It says absent for me.
Screen shows present.
Okay.
Mr. Dowdy's got you taken care of if it doesn't look right there on the screen.
Dad's here.
At this time, we will go for the historian moment and ask Commissioner McFarland to come forward.
Probably about right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Rusty. Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen of the commission, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, and family of the Walker family members that are here. See if I can get our slides up and working. Tonight I'm going to speak to you about Edward Glenn Walker Jr. But before I talk to you about him, I want to tell you a little bit about his family. Well, if we get this thing to working. There we go. Judge Edward Glenn Walker Sr. was elected the judge of this county in 1915. He stayed in office to 1940, and he held the highest executive office in this county for a quarter of a century. When he went in office, there were no high schools in Wilson County, Jeff, and there were no paved roads. When he went out of office, there was 100 miles of paved roads and 3 high schools. So that just gives you a little bit about the character of the family. Judge Walker passed in 1940, and so we're now going to talk about his son. Edward Glenn Walker Jr. Grew up in Lebanon. He was kind of like others around here, Jimmy McDowell and the rest of the family. He was a boy about town, I'm quite sure. Went to Lebanon High School, the high school that his father built. And as you can see here, he graduated in 1935. Now, if you get this picture and look at it up close, in 1945, the people in this photograph were the who's who of Lebanon and Wilson County, many of them from different parts of the county there. But Edward Glenn Jr. went on for a short stint, I guess you'd say, at Cumberland University. You see a shot of him here on the left side of the screen in the football field there, and you can see some of the homes on West Spring Street behind him. But then he went on to the University of Tennessee, graduated in 1939, and after graduation, he went on to Harvard Law School. His father passed in 1940. Now let's think just a minute about what was going on in the world in 1940. The Germans had already gone into Poland, captured the Low Countries, invaded France. The Japanese had taken Manchuria, many of the islands, French Indochina. War was going on everywhere, but we, the American people, were not in it yet. Edward Glenn Walker Jr. volunteered for the Marine Corps. He volunteered and went to Officers Candidate School at Quantico, Virginia, got his commission as a second lieutenant, and from there he was sent to West Coast and then on to his first battle at Guadalcanal. He was in the 2nd Marine Division. Terry Ash's father was in the 1st Marine Division. There were 5 divisions of Marines and 1 division of Army on the Battle of Guadalcanal. After that battle, come on, clicker. After that battle, he went down to New Zealand, as a lot of the Marines did, for rest and recuperation, where they went through the hospital because he was wounded and got healed up. He was there for several months. And in this photograph, you can see him there. This was the photograph where he was presented, 1, with his first Purple Heart, and 2, he became commissioned there in New Zealand as captain, company commander, Easy Company, 2nd Regiment, 2nd Battalion, 2nd Regiment, 2nd Marine Division. His job in the 2nd Battalion, of which Easy Company was part of it, was to attack, if you will, Red Beach 2, you can see at the top of the map. Let's talk about Tarawa just a moment. Tarawa was about as far from here to the public square wide and about 4 times that long. It was a little bitty place, but it had an airfield, and that airfield was what's so vital in the middle of the Pacific. And his company that he led went in there at Red Beach 2. This is a picture of the company grade officers in his company. The captain is sitting there in the center. All of these officers were killed in the Battle of Tarawa with the exception of Lieutenant Messer, and I think we've identified him as the guy on top right. I'm not sure, but I think so. But that just tells you the ferociousness of that particular battle. The battle lasted 74 hours, just over 3 days. Little bitty place. It lasted 74 hours. And after the battle, and what took place in that day, most of the deceased, most of those killed, were buried right where they fell in most cases. But in 1946, the 604th Grave Registration Company went to Tarawa, and they exhumed all the graves, all the bodies that they could find. They only found about half of them. The rest have still not been found, a little over 500. And they moved him to a cemetery there on Tarawa, the Lone Pine Cemetery. We think this is it. However, the pictures are just kind of hard to tell. But in 1947, instead of having cemeteries at 50-something islands all over the Pacific, the government decided, let's get all of those remains and bring them back to one place. And our identification lab is in Hawaii, so let's bring all of the remains back to Hawaii. And they did. And so in the case of Captain Walker, he was buried there when he died. He was moved to a cemetery and buried. He was moved to Hawaii and buried. So as of right now, he's been buried 3 times. You can see his awards and decorations on the right. That's the first Purple Heart he was awarded. And that was, I believe, was awarded there while he was in New Zealand. The Purple Heart on the left has the gold star, and you can tell if you know about gold star mothers and gold stars, that was the Purple Heart when he was deceased, awarded when he was deceased. Now, the remains, this is the mystery in all of it, the remains believed to be that of Captain Walker returned to the family in 1947. They were buried in the family plot at Wilson County Memorial Gardens. However, the remains were misidentified. They were not that of Captain Walker. And today, we still don't know who that Marine is. Captain Edward Glenn Walker, Jr., United States Marine Corps, will arrive here Wednesday, the 21st of this week, this Wednesday. And he'll be escorted by Highway Patrol, deputies, law enforcement, and probably a lot of veterans on motorcycles with American flags. He'll be escorted to Lincoln Bobo Funeral Home. The misidentified Marine will be removed, and he will be sent back to Hawaii DPAA for identification. And hopefully, when he's identified, Sheriff Ash and myself are going to try to go and meet that family. The funeral this coming week will be at Fairview Church at 3 p.m. on the 24th. That will be next Saturday. And there will be a lot of visitation there of veterans, and there will be a flyover, a missing man formation by 4 Black Hawk helicopters. Anybody that'd like to come, I think, would be perfectly welcome. Burials and honors rendered will be at the Wilson Memorial Gardens at 4:30, and that's where the flyover will take place. Now, with that said, part 3 of this, if I can get the family members to come up here. Jimmy McDowell, Bill McDowell, Glenn Martin, Gail Martin, Lane Martin. Would you please come up front? You would just join me on either side here, please. Surely. The veterans who serve on this commission have put together a resolution. So at this time, attention to the resolution. Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee, to honor Captain Edward G. Walker, Jr., United States Marine Corps. Whereas Edward G. Walker, Jr. was the son of Edward Glenn Walker, Senior County Judge of Wilson County from 1915 to 1940, and the son of Bertha Tally Walker. And whereas Edward Glenn Walker Jr. graduated from Lebanon High School in 1935, then attended Common University before graduating from the University of Tennessee at Knoxville and going on to attend Harvard Law School. And whereas in late 1940 he returned home upon the death of his father, Judge Walker, and whereas with the specter of war increasing daily, he joined the United States Marine Corps. He was commissioned to second lieutenant. And whereas his unit, the 2nd Marine Division, served in 5 other divisions of Guadalcanal, where he was wounded and evacuated to a hospital in New Zealand for rest and recovery. And whereas upon release from the hospital, he was promoted to captain, given command of Easy Company, 2nd Battalion, 2nd Regiment, 2nd Marine Division. And interrupting here, that'd be about 20,000 men in the division. where he was assigned to assault Red Beach 2 on Tarawa Atoll in the Gilbert Islands. And whereas Captain Walker was killed in action on November 20th, 1943, with his remains designated as killed in action. And whereas thereafter his remains were misidentified on 2 reviews, and upon his mother's request his remains were brought, the remains of who was thought to be Captain Walker were returned to Lebanon and buried in the family plot in 1947 at Wilson County Memorial Gardens. And whereas during 1947, the United States government had remains of deceased Marines from approximately 50 cemeteries removed and taken to Hawaii to be reinterred in a national cemetery in Hawaii, which we call the Punch Bowl, where in 2018 it was discovered the real Captain Walker's remains were there. Whereas, now having been properly identified, the remains of Captain Edward G. Walker are returned to Wilson County and will be buried July the 24th, 2021. Therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners, Wilson County, Tennessee, on behalf of all Wilson County citizens, that we honor Captain Edward G. Walker, Jr. for his service to the United States of America during World War II. And I have resolutions here for each of the members of the family. So let me start with you, Glenn. And yes, sir. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got one other presentation.
Go ahead and do it, Sue.
No, you come up. You come up here.
Wait.
Right now. Get up here.
On the resolution, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Had a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Wilson Warriors Foundation, taking this very seriously. We're honored that y'all have allowed us to document what happens this week and maybe what happens in the next few months. So we want to make sure y'all had a United States Marine Corps hat to wear. Service veterans provide. And wear it with honor. I know you will.
Thank you, members of the commission. Thank you very much. And thank you for the Walker family.
Thank you, Commissioner McFarland, and thank all of you that came tonight to support the Walker family. Report from the steering committee, Commissioner Patton.
Yes. The steering committee met in regular session on Thursday, July the 8th, in the county commission room. The minutes are in your packet. Move that they be received and filed.
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Adoption of the agenda.
Motion to adopt the agenda.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion or changes? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Consent agenda.
Motion to adopt the consent agenda.
Second.
Do we have a,
Do we have one?
no consent agenda, so we're good to go on that? Okay. At this time, Commissioner Sue Venata has a special presentation.
And I would like to invite the Walker family, Coleman Walker and his wife, and any of the members of the family or friends to come up front, please. I'm sure most of you in this room know Coleman Walker, and he's always late. He comes in 1 minute before he goes on the air, and I was sweating it to make sure he got here on time tonight. Resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee, honoring and congratulating Coleman Walker Walker on his career in radio broadcasting and his induction into the Tennessee Radio Hall of Fame. Whereas Coleman Walker, known as the voice of Wilson County, continues his career in radio broadcasting now spanning 60 years. And whereas Coleman first went on the air February the 21st, 1961, at the age of 21. Since that time, it has been a rare day that his voice didn't connect with local listeners in some manner. And whereas from the first time he walked into WCOR radio station in Lebanon at the age of 9, Coleman knew what he wanted to do with his life, but had no clue he would spend more than half a century behind the microphone. And whereas Coleman's current radio venture, Coleman and Company, runs weekdays on WANT FM 98.9, WCOR AM 1490, having debuted in the fall of 1993. And whereas since that time, he's been referred to as the Johnny Carson of Wilson County. I didn't know that. As he has interviewed thousands of local guests, as well as numerous politicians and visitors from Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Watertown, Wilson County, and beyond. And whereas Coleman takes his show very seriously, and he strives to have guests that will bring topics of interest to his listeners, frequently mentioning that his show is live, spontaneous, and unrehearsed. And whereas setting his own schedule all these years for Coleman and Company, he never missed a beat during the March 2020 tornado or the COVID-19 shutdown. He immediately began to interview local and national emergency officials about disaster relief and Vanderbilt Hospital employees about COVID testing sites. And whereas, while Coleman has enjoyed and continues to enjoy a long career in radio, he also had a brief period of time in the local newspaper business and was a partner with Walker and Phillips Insurance of Lebanon for several years. And whereas Coleman, a 1958 graduate of Lebanon High School, and his wife Helen are the proud parents of 3 sons, Clark, Brian, and Mike, and they enjoy being grandparents. And whereas in March 2016, Coleman was recognized for his 50-plus years of radio service by the Tennessee State General Assembly. And whereas in January 2017, he was voted Wilsonian of the Year by the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce. And in February 2017, received a Lifetime Member Award from the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Whereas Coleman is also well known for his service at the Wilson County Fair Board and has been instrumental in the great giveaway on Tuesday night at the annual Wilson County Fair. Whereas active in the Lebanon Senior Citizen Center, Coleman can be seen almost daily having lunch and then challenging anyone and everyone in a cornhole game. Usually wins, I'm told. Whereas for all his involvement in the community and in his 60 years of service in radio, Coleman Walker has become a legend in Wilson County. And on July the 31st, 2021, in a well-deserved recognition, Coleman Walker will be inducted into the Tennessee Radio Hall of Fame. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee, that we hereby honor Coleman Walker for his years of service to Wilson County and its municipalities for his long career in radio, and congratulate him upon his induction into the Tennessee Radio Hall of Fame. I move that this resolution be approved.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
And now the microphone is yours.
I didn't know I was supposed to say anything, but all I know to say is thank you very much.
Here is your resolution. And this is his lovely wife, Helen, I'm sure. Just real quickly, how many of you just stand up if you've been on Coleman's show? That should make you feel great, right? Okay. Thank you. Congratulations, Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman and Ms. Helen, and Ms. Venata. At this time, Ms. Cindy Bannock has a special recognition.
If all the coaches and players from Green Hill High School track and field team come up, please, and join me at the podium. can get on this side too. All right, resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee, honoring the Green Hill High School track and field team for their accomplishments in their inaugural season. Whereas the Green Hill High School track and field team began with 8 senior team members who served as team captains, and whereas the school year progressed, the team grew to a total of 91 team members, able to compete in 3 meets to gain competition experience in preparation for the meets, which propel individual and team members to the state meet. And whereas the Wilson County Championship meet on April 16th and 17th, 2021, hosted by the Wilson Central High School, the boys and girls team each placed first, combining to score 420 points to claim the championship title. And whereas the team next participated in the 9 AAA District Championship meet on April 23rd and 24th, 2021, hosted by Lebanon High School, whereas the boys team scored 215 points to claim first place, the girls team scored 184.5 points to claim first place, and the team's combined score of 399.5 points was enough to claim the championship title, with Marjon Jones and Jordan Stromquist being voted most valuable players of the district. And whereas next the team moved to the TWSAA District 1 Large School Section 3 North Region, hosted by Hendersonville High School on May 5th and 6th, 2021, where the boys and girls team each placed first. And whereas track is a unique sport that rewards team and individual accomplishments, and Green Hill High School and many standout finishes in their inaugural season. And whereas the team had several athletes qualify to compete in the sectional championships May 12th and 13th, 2021, hosted by Ravenwood High School, including field event qualifiers Carolina Bannock, Cameron Bryan, Angela Hoover, Brett Watt, Jordan Stromquist, Lexi Greenstreet, Nico Duffy, and Marjon Jones. And whereas track event qualifiers were Jordan Stromquist, Lindsey Armstrong, Margaret Nita, Aya Sagers, Logan Eastray, Aaron Isabel, Dalen Seegers, and the boys 4x100 relay team, boys 4x200 meter relay team, boys 4x400 meter relay team, boys 4x800 relay team, and girls 4x800 meter relay team. Whereas athletes who finished in the top 4 of the sectional championships qualified to compete in the TWSAA State Tournament Large School Division on May 27, 2021, including 4x200 meter relay team Cameron Sowell, Paris Spraggins Jr., Alex Baez, and Contraven McFarland. 100 meter Jordan Stromquist, 110 hurdles, Dalen Seegers, long jump Marjon Jones and Jordan Stromquist, high jump Marjon Jones, triple jump Marjon Jones and Jordan Stromquist, and pole vault Carolina Bannock. And whereas, while qualifying for the state is a great accomplishment within itself, the Green Hill High School competitors wanted to do their best and did. Senior standouts Jordan Stromquist and Marjon Jones each medaled in 3 events. Jordan Stromquist placed 5th in the state for the 100-meter dash, and with the time of 12.22 seconds. 5th in long jump with a distance of 18 feet and a half inch. 6th in triple jump with a distance of 35 feet 9 inches. And Marjon Jones placed 5th in long jump with a distance of 5.75 inches. 1st in triple jump with a distance of 3 feet 0.75 inches, and 2nd in high jump with a height of 6 feet 6 inches. And whereas members of the Green Hill High School boys team include Joseph Abbott, Caleb Abel, Christian Allen, Alex Baez, Jorge Baez, Logan Banasek, Jeremiah Bartling, Andrew Burgess, Gavin Cole, Talon Colquitt, Owen DeGiorgio, Fred Dixon, Ethan Garcia, Logan Garcia, Joseph Gerges, Matthew Gerges, Nathan Glasscock, Rex Harmon, William Harmon, Mina Helmley, Mario Hill, DJ Hyde, Spencer Hyde, Aaron Isabel, Owen Isabel, Logan Istray, Caden Jenkins, John Johnson, Marjon Jones, Giovanni Liccato, Caden Lee, Cole Locke, Dayton Mayhew, Contraven McFarland, Jackson Noel, Levi Oates, Christian Pelisok, Carson Palmer, Mo Rutland, Said Stephen, Adric Shade, Andrew Shell, Dalen Seegers, Michael Smith, Cameron Sowell, Paris Spraggins, Christian Stewart, AJ Sunday, Hunter Taylor, who was also the valedictorian, Seth Taylor, Trent Thomas, Lamar Wade, Robbie Warner, and Kevin Yassa. And whereas members of the Green Hill High School girls team included Lindsay Armstrong, Carolina Bannock, Amy Barham, Sierra Blanton, Ava Bogweg, Belle Bulia, Cameron Bryan, Hannah Colson, Sheridan Cruz, Sammy Curtis, Lucy Ephraim, Abby Fulgham, Lexi Greenstreet, Angela Hoover, Greta Jarka, Annalise Joyner, Marissa King, Claire Lukey, Olivia Majors, Lindsay Martin, Melina Rodriguez, Chantel Mueller, Margaret Nita, Hannah Norman, Annabelle Ratton, Madison Riggins, Adriana Rotondo, Cheyenne Rupp, Ella Grace Schmidt, Caitlin Sewell, Fiona Siebold, Aya Siggers, Jordan Stromquist, Kristen Wagner, and Brett Watt. And whereas these team members were coached by David Glasscock, Shaquille Cragwell, Joshua McMillan, and Jay Armstrong. And whereas the accomplishments of these young men and women are especially notable in that this team was the first year team fielding a group of teammates that had to mesh together to be a highly competitive team while dealing with obstacles such as COVID, quarantine, and injury. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Wilson County, Tennessee, that we hereby recognize the Green Hill High School track and field team for their very successful season and the individual accomplishments, and that a copy of this resolution be presented to each coach, each member of the team, and principal for display at the Green Hill High School in recognition of the 2020-2021 track and field team. Motion to approve.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. I was very thankful to be able to do this. My daughter is on this team, and I would have the coaches and players announce their names as they go back to their seats or exit the building. Thank you.
I thank all of you so very, very much. I'm Coach David Glasscock. We can't do anything that we do without you guys and without your support. I know I've been in the county now for a long time, and to see the Green Hill facility, I know it's not easy building a facility like that, but I want all of you to know that we're going to do everything in our ability to honor the commitment that you made in funding that facility, and that we're going to represent this county first class at all times. So thank you so much for this.
Thank you.
I'm Jordan Stromquist.
I'm Dylan Siggers. I'm Gio Lachado. I'm Andrew Burgess.
I'm Alex Baez.
I'm Aya Siggers.
I'm Mo Rutland.
I'm Carolina Bannock.
I'm Owen Isbell.
I'm Angela Hoover.
I'm William Harmon.
I'm Brett Watt.
I'm Matthew Gerges. I'm Nathan Glasscock. I'm Aaron Isbell.
I'm Spencer Hyde.
I'm Logan East.
I'm Joshua McMillan.
I'm Coach Shaquille Craigwall.
Class act, Coach Glasscock. Class act, good group. This time, we will hold a public hearing, so I need a motion to go out of session.
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Mr. Tom Brashears, our planning director.
Would you sign my shirt? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A public hearing will be held before the Wilson County Commission tonight at 7 p.m. or thereafter in the County Commission Room on the Wilson County Courthouse, located here at 228 East Main Street in Lebanon, Tennessee. The following item is up for consideration. Application has been made by Jamie Williams to rezone approximately 3 acres, currently zoned A1 agricultural. The request is to rezone 1.78 of those 3 acres of property to C3 highway commercial and the remaining 1.08 acres to LOC limited office commercial. The property is located at 5760 Highway 109 North and is referenced as Wilson County Property Map 33, Parcel 45. A copy of the request has been on file in the Wilson County Planning Office here at 228 East Main Street in the basement. It has been available for inspection during business hours. The rezoning request is now to be heard on final reading by the County Commission following the public hearing. Anyone desiring to comment is requested to attend or come forward at this time.
Anyone here wishing to speak on the property, just step to the mic in the back, state your name and address for the record. Seeing none, we will close, no? Nope. We will close public comment period, and we'll go back in session. Do I hear a motion?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Mr. Tom?
Ladies and gentlemen of the commission, this application for rezoning does come before you tonight with a positive recommendation from the Wilson County Planning Commission that was recommended. They recommended approval of it on June 18th, 2021.
Goes Mr. Bernard, it's in your district.
This is in my district, and I've talked to Tom about it and stuff, and I hadn't had any calls, so I'm gonna recommend we approve it.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Any discussion from anybody? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
That concludes my business before you this evening. Hope you have a nice evening and a successful rest of your deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tom. Report from the Minutes Committee, Commissioner Bishop.
The Minutes Committee met July the 8th.
In session.
You go back in session.
O'clock
We did.
in the Commissioners' meeting room at the courthouse. The 4 committee members present approved the minutes with one amendment, and those approved minutes were in your packet. I make a motion that this report be received and filed.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. And opposed? Before I say reading of the minutes, I always wondered why Miss Cindy Bannock was the one that spoke up on that and made the motion. But after hearing her speak tonight, knowing how fast that she can talk, how eloquent she speaks, and the way that she pronounces all those words, I understand you would be the designated one to read the minutes, and so therefore, I got it.
I move that we dispense with the reading of the minutes.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. I would like to commend Commissioner McFarland in your presentation tonight. It was outstanding. Anything that you want us to get out to the commission about the arrival of the body or anything like that, let us know. We will get that word out for you. But just an outstanding job tonight with that presentation. We put these on your desk tonight on the voting. Some commissioner had called Philip Warren and asked, and so we put them on your desk. That's just a list of all of the voting precincts and the number of people there. I will say that Mr. John Grant called me this morning and said that he runs Compassionate Hands, the homeless group here. He has a grant that he has received with his organization. And if you run across anybody, because August 1st is the renter's moratorium goes out, that needs assistance with their rent, please give Mr. John a call if you happen to get that need inside of your district. That's John Grant, Compassionate Hands. If you don't know the number, holler at us. On July the 9th, we received from Comptroller Mumpower the last piece of information about the American Rescue Plan. And you know, my plans were, we did the budget back in June. This month, we were going to talk about the $911,000 grant that we got, and you guys have that in front of you to approve. And next month was going to bring you the options about the American Rescue Plan. They ask us here in this that the final rule, you know, we've been talking about the interim rule, the final rule will come out at the 1st of September, and ask local governments to wait until that rule came out before we started deliberating on how we would spend that money. So our goal is we'll work hard this month getting things ready, and all of the options has been presented to us. We'll send to the comptroller's office and just ask, are they permissible expenditures? If they are, then we'll bring that list to the Budget Committee and let the Budget Committee start deliberating over those expenditures and decide which ones that you guys want to take on. And we'll do that through a work session that we'll invite the full commission to. And then once you get that decided, then we'll come to the full commission for final approval on that. So you'll get to hear it more than once, but just kind of wanted to get you updated. I was thinking we'd bring it in August, but it'll be later now because of that. This goes without saying, but Sheriff Bryan's group always does a tremendous job with picking up litter throughout our roads and many other things that they do. But they won the litter grant again, and so it always goes unlooked. But your folks and your job over there do a tremendous job of making that happen each year, and that's money that we do not have to come up with, that I know you use to keep our roads clean. So I want to say thank you for that. We did close on the 2 WEMA properties in Mount Juliet this last week or two. That's taken a while. It took a while just simply because, first of all, we had to make sure that we had sewer to both properties. We didn't want to buy something that we didn't have utilities to. Second, we had to get one of the properties annexed into Mount Juliet, and that took a while for a couple of readings there. So those have been done. We will continue to meet with Mike Manis and Joey Cooper about the design of the building, and it will go out to bid pretty soon. So I will keep you updated on that, and we'll try to get back with our Public Works Committee when we have more information on that. Another note of something else that the County Commission has approved, and that's why it's easy for me to tell all of you at one time. My understanding is we got the certificate of occupancy for the Mount Juliet Clerk's Office. Got it today, so therefore I believe that one will happen, Mr. Goodall, maybe Thursday of this week. It's possible to open. Have a grand opening later on, but maybe be able to get in the building this Thursday. And so that's another good thing that you guys have taken care of. Follow up on some old business here. Back in May 1st, 2018, Commissioner Gary Keith made a deal with, and you guys, with the Judicial Office to buy the old adult high school on Green Lawn. If you remember, they were to pay 3 years of rent at $1,250 and then close on the property, which we sold them for $350,000. We did close on that property this month as well, so they continued their end of the bargain, and that they're up and running. They're doing a good service. You guys took care of them and helped them as well. So thanks to you. But wanted you to know that we got the $305,000 that they owed us, and we closed on that, and Mr. Maynard has that in the bank. Also, the Health Department, Mr. Tim Defender left us for resigned or retired a while back. Brittany Cox really was there during the whole COVID issue as an interim. They have a new person that they let me know of. They do not have a bio on that person yet, but they have somebody ready to go in place to run our health department. I will get that information to you sometime this month as soon as they get it to me. We were asked by CTAS to just remind all commissioners elected or appointed in 2018 and beyond that there are some commissioner hours that they had to requirement for training. So if you are one of those people or have any thoughts about making, if you haven't gotten yours yet, that's August the 31st, 2021 is a deadline on that. Any questions on that, please give us a holler and we can help you with that. 2 more things. One, get asked quite a bit about the admissions testing. Admissions, if you remember, back during, been a long time in a process, but they had 18 months to make their, and hear their final rule. And that was supposed to be August the 27th. That's the deadline for them to accept the final plan of the EPA. They could do that before August the 27th. But if they don't, August the 27th is their deadline. The TCA says 120 days, or the section that governs that, 120 days from the time they accept that plan is when the office here will close, or the place here will close. So that is your last day for admission. Says 120 days from the final, when they adopt the final plan. They've got to August the 27th to do that. If they do it August the 1st, it's 120 days from then. So I will try to keep you informed as soon as I find out more information on the exact date, but I've had several people ask me that, so really what you will hear is 120 days from the time they accept it. Last thing I'll give you is, and just for your information, sales tax continues to climb here in the county. And just a comparison, in Wilson County, if you go back to May of 2019, we collected $524,000 and some change. May of 21, we collected $1.2 million there. So that's $1.2 million that we collected in May of 21. Let me give you some parameters on that. Williamson County collected $1.243 million, or $1.2 million. Rutherford, $1.3. Blount County, 1.4, Hamilton County, 1.5, Shelby, 1.7, Sevier, 2.2, Knox County 6.2, and Davidson 6.5 million. So that's kind of an area of kind of, you see kind of where we fall in that process. This time, I would like to introduce Senator Mark Pody and Representative Clark Boyd to the front. They have some updates they would love to give you. Any questions on anything that I just went over as they make their way here?
Mayor,
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
You know, on the emissions testing, if they fail to come out to approve it, is it automatically approved, or do we have to wait longer?
I think it has to be approved.
That's what I thought, too.
Yes, sir.
So if they don't come out on time, then do we have any recourse, I guess I'm asking?
They have to make a decision in the 18 months, and then if that decision is a negative decision, then we'll still have it. But if it's a positive decision, it's 120 days from that time. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Senator, Representative?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Commissioners. We appreciate the opportunity to come talk to y'all, and we're going to kind of tag team this a little bit, but, you know, the first thing you all were talking about, the money that is coming, and in Wilson County, between Lebanon, which is going to get about $10 million, Mount Juliet will get about $10 million, Watertown, about $439,900, and then Wilson County gets about $28,967,000. It's coming to a total of just under $50 million that's coming from the Rescue Act, which is kind of unique. And I know that we had actually a meeting here in Wilson County where the comptroller came and kind of went through some of the rules, and I know some of y'all were there to actually see what those rules are. And then also some of the money coming from the schools. Wilson County is going to get about $12.5 million, and Lebanon Special School District is going to get about $4.8 million of money from, in this case, the federal government, but it's going to flow through the state to get here in most cases. Some of the other things that we did specifically for Wilson County, the state fair, we gave $5 million of one-time money coming. We're hoping that we can get that back again next year, so it'll happen again. But we are going to get $300,000 of reoccurring money. And then they invested about $2.5 million into Cedars 11 State Park. And they also gave about $250,000 into the TDEC here, into the Hartsville-Wilson County TDEC. But let me turn it over to Representative Boyd for a minute.
Thanks, Senator Pody and Mayor, Commissioners. It's an honor to be with you tonight. You know, Senator Pody and I get out and do this in multiple counties, but it's always special to come to Wilson County, where I got my start back in 2018. I still tell people, you guys sent me down there for my first year in the legislature, and I very much appreciate that. And it's very funny that Mayor Hutto was talking about the sales tax collection, and I want to harp on that for just a minute. You know, I think the state of Tennessee is doing remarkably well, and a large part of that is because we are a state that largely depends on sales tax revenue. Not to take anything away from any of you that pay franchise excise tax or professional privilege tax, but when the pandemic hit and everyone was locked down and everyone was working from home and they were shopping from home when other states were scrambling to raise revenue to balance their budgets, it turns out that Netflix subscription, you actually pay sales tax on that. And the products that you buy, the toilet paper that you were having shipped to your home, you're paying sales tax on that. And so that we saw the revenue go up. And when I first went into the General Assembly, one of the big things that was up for debate at that time was whether these out-of-state merchants should pay Tennessee sales tax like the folks here in Lebanon and in Wilson County do. Luckily, the Supreme Court settled that decision for it, and we started collecting that in the year 2020. And we set that benchmark initially at a $500,000 benchmark, but during the pandemic, we actually lowered it to $100,000. And so a lot of the revenue that you're seeing coming in is because of the transition to online sales and the fact that we are collecting that. And a change that we did last year, too, that I think will impact local government is we also recognize that a lot of folks, I don't know if you've heard of Airbnb or VRBO, a lot of those, they were in some of the big cities, they had developed arrangements with like Nashville, Davidson, and Shelby County and places like that, and they were collecting the sales tax from those arrangements, and they were also collecting hotel motel tax, but the rest of the state they weren't. And so we passed a bill in 2020 that basically said if you are a city or a county government that has a hotel motel tax or you have a sales tax, which we all do, that the state of Tennessee will collect that for you and they would dispense it out to the cities and counties appropriately. And so we started seeing that this year. And so a large portion of the sales tax revenue that we've seen go up is because of that. And so I'm glad we're able to get that taken care of. One of the things that we saw this year, if you haven't noticed this, there's a labor shortage out there. And a lot of that is because the $300 a week coming from the federal government has created a disincentive to work. And I tell people sometimes that unemployment is kind of like an opioid. When you first need it, you need it. But if you stay on it too long, it can be bad for you. And so I was proud to see the governor shut that off July the 1st, that those funds were coming in. But one of the things that Senator Pody and I did in the General Assembly this year is we completely revamped the way unemployment works in the state of Tennessee. And so we had a really, really old, antiquated system, that this old computer that had been there since the 90s. I mean, folks, it had a drip pan underneath it. I mean, it was barely even connected to the internet. And so we finally got a new system in place right about the time that the pandemic hit. It's not completely online yet. But one of the things that we did this year, and when I first heard about this piece of legislation, the first thing I thought was, why didn't we think of this sooner? And what this piece of legislation does is it streamlines the process by which people get their unemployment money. But it basically says if we have low unemployment, then you get your unemployment benefits for a shorter period of time. But if we find ourselves in a high unemployment environment, then you can get it for a little bit longer. And so, guys, that's just common sense. I mean, I'm very proud of that piece of legislation, and I think that's going to pay dividends down the road for Tennessee's workforce. Senator Pody, you want
to? Some of the other things that we did was we took $100 million and we actually, from the state, and divided that amongst the counties and the cities. We've done that before, but this year we did it basically with no strings attached. So y'all be able to kind of divide up that money how you see fit. There's enough strings on all the money you're getting anyway, so we tried to make that happen. Wilson County Schools did get another grant, and that was for the closing of the gap of the CNA, and that was $50,000 that we awarded. We also ended up helping the volunteer firemen. I know there's a lot of paid firemen, but there's a lot of volunteer firemen in Wilson County. And we went ahead and said any of them that are going to go through their school, the training supplements, we're going to be paying that additional $600, and we picked that up as the state. We also helped them to get into a retirement program. So if they're a volunteer fireman, we made it possible that they could actually put some money into a retirement program for them. And I know, Chief, you're right there, so you know this is very, very helpful for a volunteer fireman. Actually, over 80% of our state is covered by volunteers, and we just wanted to say thank you to them a little bit if we could. Something else we did for our sheriffs, and Sheriff, we made it possible because I know that it costs you more to house the prisoners and what you get back and so forth, but the governor went ahead and did a reentry success program. And so if we have prisoners that want to get back and they want to go through some training program to the TCAT and so forth, and we can encourage that. We're going to actually reimburse the local jails and the sheriffs for a little bit more than we normally do if we can get some prisoners into that program. Most of the people that are in jail right now, they're coming back. They're going to be back into society, and we want to make it as easy as we can for them to stay free, stay in society, make a living, and not go back and be repeat offenders.
Thank you. One of the things that I sort of inherited this year, my committee assignment changed, and I'm now Business and Utilities Chairman. And one of the things that I figured out real quick was that there are a lot of places, not only in Tennessee, but in Wilson County, that do not have broadband. They do not have high-speed internet. That became more apparent than ever when our children were doing remote learning from home, and we saw a lot of companies send their workforce to work from home, and we really did recognize that not everyone has high-speed internet in Tennessee. So what we're working on, we put $100,000 in the budget to put out there, and how that typically works is we don't, and I want to get this out there because I think a lot of people, when they saw that, they assumed that they could just call me and say, hey, can you use some of that and get me some internet? It's still up to the internet providers. It doesn't matter if it's a co-op like what we see DTC out of Smithville, or if it's AT&T, Charter, Comcast. They still have to provide the service out there. What we offer is a matching grant. Sometimes there's just not a business case to go some places, but maybe there is if we cover 50% of the cost. And so that's what the intent is with $100 million. And believe it or not, there are a lot of folks that could get on a bicycle and ride to Publix here in Lebanon that don't have they're on dial-up. I mean, a phone call would knock them off the internet. You know, like y'all remember the America Online back in the 90s. For a lot of folks, that's still a reality, and so we're working to get that out there all around the state of Tennessee. That's a big thing. Another thing that we did that I don't think gets enough press, but this is huge. Tennessee is the first state in the country to get a shared savings waiver for Tenncare, and Tenncare is the state Medicaid program. So we applied to the federal government, and we basically said, hey, could we get a block grant? And what a block grant is where we say, hey, instead of it being a 3-to-1 match, and those are rough numbers, but instead of us putting in $3 billion and the federal government putting in $9 billion, why don't you just give us the $9 billion and let us come up with our own program? We applied for that. We did not get approved for that, but what they did say is that they would do a shared savings. And so let's just keep those numbers. We put in 3, they put in 9. If they actually had $10 billion set back, but they weren't using all of it, what happens to that other $1 billion? Right now, it goes, the federal government retains ownership of that. So what that would happen is if we had some sort of savings, they would split that with the state of Tennessee. And with that additional $500 million, we could expand services or do something different. And this is not a Medicaid expansion like you might have heard about a few years ago. And what we have decided in Tennessee is that money will most likely be used to reach out to populations of intellectually disabled people. So that's probably where you'll see that we are the first state in the United States to get approved for that. And so that's big news. And Senator Pody, I'll let you talk for a little bit.
All right, so the next thing we ended up doing is here in Wilson County, the voting centers. You know, it was a pilot program where somebody could go and they could vote anywhere that they wanted. They didn't have to go to their polling place on Election Day. So we went ahead and made that permanent. So in Wilson County was almost a poster child on why it's important, because the very day we were voting is when we had our tornado. And some of the voting places actually were having trouble. They didn't have electricity and so forth. This way people go actually vote anywhere they wanted to. And so we made that permanent here in Wilson County. And there was another county, Rutherford County, we did the same thing. Something else while we're talking about voting, redistricting is coming up this year. And I know that y'all are very much involved in making your committees and getting that ready, but we should have those numbers. We're anticipating in early September is when we actually should have the final numbers. We got very preliminary numbers right now, but we know that they have to be in place for people to decide where they're going to run, where the districts are going to be falling and so forth, so we can stay on the timeline that we need to for elections for next year. Something else that we're working on is going to be the TDOT. Of course, we're working on 109, and 109 is almost done. We're anticipating that being done yet by the end of the year. And we're also looking at the widening of 40. We're anticipating that also is supposed to be done. We're hoping coming up very shortly. Before the fall of this year, and that's through Vulcan. You know, that was the $38 million that we had there. We're still looking at how we can help with transportation and infrastructure for the State Fair. With the State Fair coming here, there's going to probably be more attendance and traffic, and we know it's always been tight right now, but how we can, as a state, help to do some of those process to make that interchange a little bit easier to get here.
We'll hit on just a few criminal justice things, and then I'll actually stop and Senator Pody, we can take questions. But we're always trying to crack down on human trafficking in the state of Tennessee, and apparently folks with a commercial driver's license oftentimes are the ones that facilitate that. And so if you are convicted of human trafficking and then you later get out of jail, you will not get a commercial driver's license again, ever, in the state of Tennessee. We are cracking down on porch pirates. We are folks that are having their packages and mail stolen. We've stiffened the penalties on that. I did not realize this was a thing, but apparently stealing catalytic converters has become a real crime. And so we have come up with a plan in conjunction with scrap recyclers. We don't want to make their life harder, but basically if you've not contacted the sheriff, the police chief, or you are a licensed scrap dealer and you get caught with the catalytic converters, you're in trouble. We saw a lot of rioting in addition to the COVID-19 back in the year 2020. And so we have increased the penalty for aggravated rioting and paying people to come riot, which we call mercenary rioting, when people come from another state and they're literally on the payroll to riot. We've increased the penalty for that. And if you murder a first responder, you can be charged as a terrorist. And so we're really getting serious about some of these things, and we don't want to take all night, so I'm going to stop. Senator Pody, if you've got anything, or we can just take questions.
Mr. Walker?
You're good.
First, I want to thank you both for coming here tonight. There's one thing I've got some grave concerns about, and I spoke with a few people here recently. I've got an employer that I work with. I sat down with the president last week, and we've got grave concerns about COVID and this Delta variant. I'm a Rotarian, spent 10 years as a Rotarian. Our biggest battle is the fight against polio. We got a pandemic out here, and if you look back in history, there have been pandemics throughout our nation's history. And what have we done as a nation? We've inoculated, immunized people, but the state of Tennessee has passed a law where you can't make it mandatory to take an immunization. We've got 30% of our employees immunized, and we got such a backlog with all these issues with supply chain, we could run into some grave issues. We've hogtied all of our school officials by not allowing them to use their authority in each school district to put mandatory immunization in place in their school district. I wish you'd reconsider that when you get back in the State House.
Dan, that's a great point. And I will tell you, though, that on the vaccines, especially on this one, it's not even been approved by the FDA yet. And it's really hard for the state to say, you have to mandate something that's not been approved. So I think we've tried to do it this way to balance. Anybody who wants the vaccine should be able to get it free. It should be easy for them as quickly as they possibly get it. Anybody that's deciding at this point that they don't think it's right for them at this point, especially because it's not approved and because of the test, we just want to wait until they say everything's in before we would say that it's right. But I hear exactly what you're saying, and I'm a Rotarian as well, so I'm in that same battle with you.
Any other questions for representatives? If not, thank you both for coming tonight and sharing. We appreciate it so much.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
This time we'll have Miss Gaylyn Wilson and maybe Miss Maggie Lee to come forward. We're going to talk to you just a second about a program called Wilson Rides. It's a program that would kind of originated to help our seniors get around from place to place with volunteer drivers, and Miss Gaylyn is our executive director, and Miss Maggie Lee is the chairman executive of the board. Welcome.
Thank you for allowing us to come speak. As Mayor Hutto said, Wilson Rides provides rides to seniors who no longer drive. In Wilson County, there's over 20,000 seniors who are over the age of 65. 20% of those live alone, and 6% of those do not drive or don't have a car. So our service is not just a cool thing to have here in Wilson County, it's really a necessity. We are here tonight. I think you'll find, well, let me back up for just a second. I'd like to thank Mayor Hutto and also Maggie Lee of Home Instead for their persistence and their deep concern for seniors in our community, because this project has been going on for years. Just ask them. We just gave our first ride in May, which was about 6 weeks ago. And if you look on your desk, I provided our timeline as well as how many rides we've given, the average age of the seniors, also the volunteer drivers that we have. And I would just like to say thank you to these two, because without their persistence, this program wouldn't have happened. So next, one of the ways that we are looking to fund this program is through the sale of specialty license plates. And on your desk, I believe you have replicas, and feel free to open those up and eat those. Those are awesome cookies. For those of you that don't know, we have cookies on each one of their desks that look just like this license plate. We also have provided a application as well as a pen to fill this out before you leave. And any of you in the back that would like one of these, I brought extra. The sale of these license plates, we have to get 1,000 signatures, as in any specialty license plate. We have to get 1,000 pre-sale or 1,000 signatures before these will go into production. 1,000 is a lot, but each one of you here can add to that number, and that's really why we're here. Would you like to say something? Does anybody have any questions?
Just to follow up right quick if I can, the license plate is a license plate that the county commission adopted. So that is the one that you guys adopted, and is the one that's going forward. The hope is for the 1,000 signees, and that's what we need, a check for $35. I've already written mine out and have it with the application. You just turn that in, we'll get it to Galen. The $35, part of that goes to Arts Commission, but the rest of it goes to senior rides. So you're actually donating to seniors to help provide this program. We may ask you later on to provide in a different way, but definitely this is one way that you can give to our seniors. So it's kind of a win-win, we felt like. Also, the license plate is a pride about who we are in Wilson County, another thing that we continue to try to do here. So we encourage you to do that. If you know any business that would like to maybe promote that within their organization, we'll be glad to come, and Maggie or I, myself, or Galen will come and talk to them about it. So just please, if you could sign up, we'd love for you to. If you sign up tonight and want to put a check with it, give it to me, and I'll get it to Galen because they may leave before we're through. Any questions?
Yes.
Mr. Gentry?
Are there charges to the seniors to ride?
Yes. The charges are minimal. There is a membership fee of $25 that's paid annually, and then the round trips are $6 each. That's to and from their destination to any place in Wilson County.
Okay. Have you had any problems with people with, say, dementia, kind of dementia, and they can't orchestrate the calling to get a ride? How do you deal with that?
I haven't had that situation happen yet. Most of the riders that are calling, they just do not use a computer. But most of them, all of them live alone. They are able to use a cell phone, and they are, calling to schedule their rides.
Commissioner Fields?
Yes, as with SCAN, I know you're always, I'm over here, you're always seeking volunteers. How much vetting is done if you wanted to volunteer to be a driver, and how much commitment time is required?
That's a good question. Our volunteer drivers, we use a company called Sterling Volunteers that I think a lot of the volunteer organizations use. It gives us a background check monthly, as well as a motor vehicle report monthly, so we're updated monthly on those. The volunteer drivers are asked to give 1 to 2 rides a month, and I have been a volunteer driver in the past, and I thought, well, surely I can do 1 ride a month. I wound up giving more than 1, because once I did the ride, I saw, how much needed it was and what a difference I was making. And I would say that that's what's happening right now to the volunteer drivers that have signed up. They signed up to make 1, and they're giving multiple.
As far as location, I'm as far west in the county as you can get. So would I be assigned to pick up people in Mount Juliet, or do I go to Watertown or Statesville? I mean, would there be some kind of geographic boundaries as far as where the volunteer driver resides?
We use a software scheduling system called Assisted Rides that allows the drivers to go on, and you get to choose the rides you would like to give. And I will say that we have someone that is right on the county line, the Smith County line. We have 2 riders out in the Noreen, Watertown area, and we have several riders up on the very end of Mount Juliet towards the Davidson County line, and then some in between. So we are looking for drivers in all those areas, just for the reason you said.
Commissioner Walker?
First, I want to thank you for your service. I love my parents. We all love our seniors, so thank you very much. Just kind of give me an idea of when you got started, what's your ridership like, how is the word spreading?
Well, I started in February. This project started long before I took the job, but I started in February, and I've been on the Coleman Walker Show a couple of times. I've made the rounds to the Kiwanis clubs, the Rotary clubs. We've been in every single newspaper. We've been on public television, spoken at several of the senior citizen communities, the senior centers. We've tried to spread the word that way. We have worked with SCAN. We're also working with Cedar Recovery, Drug Free Wilco, as long as those riderships are in our age group. According to our bylaws, they need to be 55 and older.
What are the numbers? You start, I'm sure, small, but what are we looking at?
I'll read these, but I did provide this for everybody. Right now, because I'm a one-person show at the moment, I am signing the riders up myself, so it takes a little time to go out and also vet the riders. We have 16 total riders, and they are taking multiple trips. We have 11 total drivers. The average age of the rider is 78. The oldest is 93. The youngest is 56. We have 9 in Lebanon, 6 in Mount Juliet, and 1 in Watertown and Noreen. The average age of our volunteer driver is 58. The oldest driver is 69. The youngest driver is 45. And we have drivers, their residence is 1 in Antioch, 3 in Hermitage, 2 in Lebanon, and 5 in Mount Juliet. And right now, I have 7 more home visits to make. These are people that signed up, and I have to go make sure that they're mobile. I have 8 applications that are pending, and I have 4 volunteer drivers that I need to do an orientation with. And this is all in the past 6 weeks.
Is it similar to Uber where you sign a contract and have to have special insurance rider on your vehicle?
As a volunteer driver, yes. Now, we do carry a lot of insurance, as you can imagine, and that was challenging. This is a pandemic, and we are transporting seniors, and Uber and Lyft have had their own issues. So we do have insurance that covers us. There's also some state laws that govern volunteers, transporting seniors, but the insurance is primary is the volunteer driver's insurance, and we do have regulations on that.
Any other questions?
What is the maximum age of the drivers?
The maximum age?
In other words, I'm too old. Okay.
I don't have a maximum age at the moment. I mean, if any of you know my mom, she's pretty spry. So, and she's 89, right, Sonia and Debbie? I mean, if she could drive, if I'd let her.
Any other questions? This will be a great program. It will continue to grow as it moves along. It's been good in other counties, and we're excited that these ladies have helped us to get this to fruition. And if you have other questions, please give us a call, and we can direct you to it. Thank you all for coming today. Please sign up tonight if you have an opportunity. Thank you.
I just wanted to add one more thing. This plate was designed by a Wilson Central High School student.
Yeah.
I guess I got one question. If we put our phone number, can you call and we can pay you with a card over the phone?
Yes. Oh, good. Okay.
All right, I signed up.
You have some more forms.
You got one on
I got 4 cars.
You need a ride.
Just put it on Chad's.
This time, we'd ask Ms. Helen McPeak to come forward and talk about the Wilson County Fair.
Short meeting.
Thank you to everybody that is here and for allowing me to come and speak to everybody. We're going to see a video first thing to hopefully get you excited about the fair. As you can tell, it is fair time in Wilson County. It'll be here August the 12th through the 21st. We're going to be having the horse events August the 6th, 7th, and 8th. Due to the lack of having enough barns and that kind of thing, those will be the weekend before because all of the small animals will be in the large covered arena, and then the cattle will be in the other barns. There will be an opening ceremony on August the 12th, and in the Farm Bureau Expo Center. The governor will be there to speak. We hope that you can be there as part of that. Each one of you have got a packet on your tables. There's an invitation there for that opening ceremony. Of course, we can only get about 1,000. We're hoping maybe 1,200 in that room. Farm Bureau is bringing 10 buses that night to represent every county in the state of Tennessee. So there will be limited to seating in that room. Then we will be going outside to the east side of the fairgrounds for an opening parade and a flag raising. So we're looking forward to all of that, and we hope that you'll get excited and be there too. The fair theme this year is honoring hometown heroes. Woo! And you see these
Chris
people
Dow.
here on this screen. Not only do they represent different careers of their lives, you know, heroes wear different hats and wear many different shoes. But these particular heroes have been very instrumental in helping put on the fair for years. And so we wanted to pay tribute to these guys. Our agricultural commodity this year, well, this is talking about if you don't have your mailboxes and your doors decorated, we hope that you will participate in that and have your honoring hometown heroes there to pay tribute to them throughout the fair. And then this is just just some doors that are decorated too. So if you don't have a mailbox, please decorate your doors. We're going to be having outhouse races at the fair this year. This should be a fun thing to do, and it takes a team of 5. So we hope that many of you will build your team of 5 and enter that, and it should be a lot of fun.
Ms. Helen, they had one out there. Who won that race overall?
It wasn't the fireman, was it?
It was Lebanon Fire.
But they tried hard.
Oh, man. It was a lot of fun. That day was a lot of fun.
Build your own outhouse?
We had an outhouse race in Fiddler's Grove, and there were several. Who all participated in that?
I don't know. I think it was 5 teams. Y'all come in fifth, didn't you?
Lebanon Police.
Out of 5.
But I understand the ladies' team really stepped up, right? They did a really good job.
That was from WEMA.
That was the WEMA department?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, we're also going to be celebrating Year of Beef this year. It's our agricultural commodity promotion. And the Burger Republic has really stepped up to be a really good sponsor this year, and they're going to be helping us put on this big beef showdown. And it will be the best burger and the best steak will be that first Saturday. So if anybody wants to compete, that'll be a great fun thing to do during the fair.
Ellen, do you need judges?
Well, I don't know, but I tell you what, call the office, and if it's not full, put your name in for that, okay? The Tennessee Beef Council is helping us with our beef exhibits for this year. They'll be bringing their I Love Beef and exhibits from the Tennessee Beef Convention that will be going on in Nashville. So we got lucky on that one. The Front Men of Country will be here this year on Monday night at 7:30. They're telling us that we will know every song that they'll be singing that night, 90 minutes of music that night. And that will be on the entertainment stage this year. And then we'll finish with this one.
Woo! What's up, guys? I'm so excited for the opportunity to come to the Wilson County Fair, spread a positive beef message, get everyone excited. We have some cool stuff going on with the Tennessee Beef Council. Hopefully we have an obstacle course and just have a really good time. Really looking forward to this. Let's do this. Woo!
That is actually Lance Pickus. He's the Cowboy Ninja Warrior. Actually, he was on television tonight in the Ninja War course. So I don't know how he's turned out tonight, but we will know, and he will be with us all 10 days during the fair. There will be a ninja course built there on the east side of the Expo Center. So y'all come out and y'all try why those kids were here. They would have been good ones to have participated in this. But if anybody would like to participate in that,
You'll be right there.
we do have Ninja Warriors coming from all over the country to participate in this. So should be a lot of fun. Thank you.
Tommy, you gonna do that?
Ms. Helen, thank you. Appreciate all the work that you do, and I know it's a 12-month-a-year job for you, so thank you so much, and thank you for bringing the packets to us tonight.
We're having fun.
And now we'll have Resolution 21-7-3 in front of you that establishes the Redistricting Committee. If you have any questions on that, or do I hear a motion to approve that?
So moved. Second.
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Goodall, there's one notary name to be added. We sent that to the commission. Anybody else? You'd like to hear a motion to approve the notary list? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Audit Committee, you are to confirm the appointment of 5 members to the Audit Committee to serve one-year term. Upon your confirmation, I'd like to appoint Commissioner Kenny Rich, Commissioner Chad Bernard, Commissioner Robert Fields, along with Mr. John Lancaster and Mr. Jerry Taylor. Do I hear a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Library Board, there is a vacancy on the Library Board created by the resignation of Ms. Betty Stone. Upon the recommendation of Chairman Mr. Jim Mills, I'd like to recommend to you Ms. Sue Ann Bone to be appointed to the board to fill Mrs. Stone's unexpired term through June 30th of 2023. Information was in your packet. Do I hear a motion on that?
Motion. Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. And opposed? This time now, we will move forward with the Redistricting Committee election. You will do that by paper ballot. There are 5 members to serve on the Redistricting Committee. They'll be elected from the 4 road zones, and then 1 member to be represented at large. Each member of the committee must receive the majority of 13 votes of the county commission to be elected. Any member from the particular road zone who is nominated must be nominated by another member in that particular zone. So we will start with, am I good with this? You give me a hard look there.
No, I'm just waiting on
I got you.
more excitement.
Okay. We will now elect 1 member from Road Commission Zone 1, which consists of Commission Districts 5, 6, 15, 17, 19, and 23. The floor is now open for nominations. Commissioner Vanatta.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Commissioner Jerry McFarland.
Commissioner McFarland. Any other nominations? Commissioner McFarland.
Kenny Rich.
I'd like to nominate Mr. Kenny Rich. Any other nominations?
Move nominate cease.
There's a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. And opposed? Okay. This time, we will ask the pro tem to come forth and help us with the voting. And we will pass out the ballots. Either one of them do a good job. One toss.
Sounds exciting.
Yes, sir.
Neither one of them asked me.
Neither one did me. So as you vote, you will vote for 1 member to serve on the Redistricting Committee. You have the options of Commissioner McFarland and Commissioner Rich. Please be sure and sign your ballot as well. You finish, if you'll pass them to the center aisle, Ms. Dowdy will pick them up.
Years ago. I used to be 25 a long time ago. Here, I'm not, ain't got married yet. Down the wrong history. 25 years.
William was a little slow.
Are all ballots in?
Yeah, that makes sense.
All it's in now. Okay.
Rich?
Rich. Rich. McFarland. Rich. Rich. McFarland. Rich. McFarland. 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 Rich. McFarland. McFarland. Rich. McFarland. 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 Rich. Votes are 13 for Commissioner McFarland, 9 for Commissioner Rich, and so Commissioner McFarland will be our first representative on Zone 1. Thank you. Congratulations. Zone 2, we will now elect, and it is from Commission Districts, District 1, 4, 8, 10, 18, 22, and 25. The floor is now open for nominations. Commissioner Walker.
I nominate Justin Smith.
Okay. Commissioner Bannock.
Lauren Breeze.
Any other nominations?
Move the nominations be closed.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? Okay. So we will now vote for either Commissioner Breeze or Commissioner Smith for Zone 2. Hang on one second. Here's my issue. There was a resolution passed a while back.
Yep.
It said the person had to be in the district, in that voting zone, as I read to you earlier, to be able to nominate somebody. That was put in. Commissioner Bannock, you're not in that district, are you? No problem? So
Who else is in that?
I need to, right now, I only have Commissioner Smith that's there. I will open that back up for any other nominations, since I did not make that correction, but I did catch that.
Who are the commissioners in that district that are here?
The commissioners in that district are Commissioner Fields, Bernard, Costley, Walker, Breeze, Marlowe, and Smith.
Lauren wants it. So I'll nominate Lauren Breeze.
That'll work for me. So now you still have two options. Sorry. Two options are, as you vote tonight, is Commissioner Breeze and Commissioner Smith. Please vote for one or the other. Please be sure and sign your ballot.
And how do we know these people will accept this if they're not here, you know?
That's what they get for not being.
Motion to cease nomination.
Well, I know, yeah, but, you know.
You get extra homework.
Be present to win.
Get with the program.
You too. I was thinking, I just got to looking and I caught
Well, yeah,
myself.
that's who we're nominating.
I don't want to do it.
All ballots are in? Everybody's ballot in?
Smith. 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 Breeze. Smith. 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 Breeze. Smith. Smith. Breeze. Smith. 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 And Smith.
The votes are 19 for Commissioner Smith and 3 for Commissioner Breeze, so Commissioner Smith will be our representative for Zone 2. Now we're ready to move forward with one member from Zone 3, which consists of Districts 7, 9, 12, 20, 21, and 24. The floor is now open for nominations. Commissioner Ash. Any others?
Move nomination cease.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Commissioner Ash, if you will accept the nomination by acclamation, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Zone 3 will be Commissioner Ash as our representative. And now we'll go for zone number 4. Number 4 will be Districts 2, 3, 11, 13, 14, and 16. And the floor is now open for nominations. Commissioner Franklin.
I'd like to nominate John Gentry.
Commissioner Gentry. Commissioner Robinson.
I'd like to nominate Tommy Jones.
Any others to be nominated?
Move nomination cease.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? Okay, it'll be now if you'll cast your vote either for Commissioner Gentry or Commissioner Jones for Zone 4. Choices on this one? That's right. Either vote for Commissioner Gentry or for Commissioner Jones. All ballots in?
Ready? Mr. Jones. Gentry. 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 Jones. Jones. Gentry. Jones. Gentry. Gentry. Jones. Jones. Gentry. Jones. 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 Gentry. Jones.
Fourteen and 8. I have 8 votes for Commissioner Gentry, 14 votes for Commissioner Jones, and so Mr. Jones becomes our Zone 4 representative. Congratulations. Now we will elect one member at large. Anyone can nominate at this time, and so the floor is open for nominations for one member at large on a minority representative.
Nominate Annette Stafford.
So I got a Commissioner Stafford by Commissioner Kurtz. And do I hear other nominations?
Move nominations cease.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? If Ms. Stafford will accept by acclamation.
Be more than happy to.
All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? The record reflect it was unanimous. So we have our redistricting committee, Commissioner McFarland, Commissioner Smith, Commissioner Ash, Commissioner Jones, and Commissioner Stafford. I'll get information to you as soon as it comes to me on books and stuff, and training as quick as it comes in. Thank you for being willing to serve on this particular issue. Now we have the election of the road commissioner for Zone 4. These people are eligible: Commissioner Bannock, Commissioner Franklin, Commissioner Gentry, Commissioner Robinson, Commissioner Jones, and Commissioner Weathers.
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Robinson.
Commissioner Robinson.
Second.
Commissioner Robinson, do I hear other nominations?
Move nomination cease.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Ms. Robinson, if you will accept this by acclamation, I'll
Thank
do
you
this
very
one more
much.
time. All in favor say aye for Ms. Robinson for Zone 4.
Aye.
Aye. And opposed? Let the record reflect it was unanimous. Okay. We are ready to move forward. Report from the Emergency Management Committee, Commissioner Glover.
No report.
Emergency Director's report, Director Cooper.
Thank you, Mayor, County Commission. You should have the packet. Right now, our call volume is slightly ahead of this time last year. Right now, our year-to-date total is 9,281. We are still receiving data from the state and federal level on the pandemic recovery and also the flooding event recovery. So those are still underway. Our latest data should be in your packet. And other than that, that concludes my report unless there's any questions.
There a second?
Second.
Commissioner Stafford?
Yes, sir. Are you seeing a surge in the pandemic, or you think we're getting control of it in Wilson County, or just give me your thoughts, please?
I think overall we are in control. You're still going to have people coming from out of state and things like that we can't control. So you're going to have an increase, then you're going to have a decrease. Right now, you know, we're only a little bit over 100, 118, I think, which is an increase of a little bit. And then those numbers will actually go back down. That's pretty much what we've been seeing the last few months. And all that, you know, like I said, there's so many things that play a factor in that, but yes, I feel that we do have it under control.
Any other questions? Commissioner Walker?
I just add that, you know, the fall and winter seasons when we may see that, Commissioner Stafford, so.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Report from Law Enforcement, Commissioner Rich, Commissioner Ash. Sorry, no report. And Sheriff Bryan for the Sheriff's report.
Thank you, Mayor, County Commissioners. Your report's in your packet. The numbers are pretty much on par for this time of year. You can see the jail population. I sort of circle it on every one of my reports, so you'll see that number. Mayor Hutto mentioned about the litter grant. We are actively working these roads the best we can. If you see anything needs to be picked up, let us know. And I appreciate you, Mayor, mentioning that. Coleman Walker, I want to say thank you for all you do for this county. You don't know what you do for this. It's a whole lot, and I really appreciate it. Just you putting up with Chris Dow for 30 minutes once a month. It means the world to me, so I appreciate you. So, but that concludes my report unless there's any questions.
Motion to approve the report.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Including that part about Chris Dow.
Including the part about Chris Dow. Report from Education Committee, Commissioner Stafford.
No report.
And Director of Schools report, Mr. Jeff Lettrell. Chris, my mother-in-law loves listening to you on the radio, for the record.
Well, I mean, you can ask him, the ratings go up when I go on. And that'll happen this Thursday. Stay tuned.
Sorry.
My report tonight, we did have a board meeting on July 12th, just pretty much standard business with finishing up some policy changes. Did highlight students, and I will continue to do that every chance. One of our highlights at the board meeting was our fishing team. A lot of people don't know, we have a fishing team with over 50 students. It requires a lot of parent volunteers. And this year, they have won the Junior Team of the Year. We had a couple of students, one from Lebanon, and by the name of Brady Duncan was a champion at the Mossy Oak Fishing Bass Masters High School Series on Lake Cumberland, Kentucky. With his fishing mate Caleb Bridges, and they took home over $1,600 for their efforts. This was a program started a few years ago, and we now have one of the largest fishing teams in the state. Over 54 of our kids from all parts of the county can participate, and it's just bringing a lot of attention to other activities. Also had a couple students this summer that were elected to FFA state officers, Future Farmers of America. There's only about 7 if I'm correct, and we have 2 of those state officers are from Wilson County. It's Kaylee Scott from Lebanon High School, Madison McDonald from Wilson Central, and that's quite an honor and unusual to have 2
state officers coming out of one county. Summer learning camps are full swing. Our bridge camps, not been lots of new concept, and these camps are designed to ensure students are getting continued support. During the summer months, had over 862 students sign up. They were provided transportation. We did bring from all parts of the county to different schools to try to make that more feasible. And I've been at a couple of those sites, and it's amazing to watch what's going on. Our dedicated educators and educational assistants and nurses continue to help those students that during the summer, and I think we'll see this continue to take place. So it's been a good summer for that. Stoner Creek demolition update, it is down. I was by there today, and those bids for that rebuild will go out August the 5th. And that's an important date. At that time, we will also begin preparing, getting ready to for the planning and bidding of West Wilson Middle. But that's a big topic that we are putting a lot of time and attention to, and we know those communities' needs. We need those buildings as soon as possible. Just in the planning phase, they're telling us to expect 12 to 14 months, and I'm going to tell them 10 months. We'll see how that goes, but we need those schools back in operation as soon as possible. And just some dates that are important. We had our admin teams all in last week getting ready for next school year. And this on the 26th, we'll bring in our new teachers. We'll have approximately, think, about 200 new teachers to our district. We're still finishing up with hiring and getting everything ready to go with some new principal appointees and assistant principals. Some of them have been named, and there'll be some more announcements coming out in the next few days on that. August 5th will also be our first day of school. So we're excited about that, and want to give a shout out to our transportation department. If we started today or tomorrow, we would have every route covered. And that is huge. So Jerry and the transportation department has done a lot of tremendous work recruiting drivers. Now that's got to still hold. You know, we lost 3 over last week, but we replaced them, and we've got 6 or 8 in the hiring process and training process. So we're hoping to have that covered. Also going to be looking at maybe some Saturday CDL classes. We're planning for that. That will allow people in the community that want to be a part-time bus driver. If you want to drive a bus, come see me. If you can pass the test and see over the wheel, we'll try to train you. And so we're trying to build that pool and be flexible. And some people that will maybe just want to drive morning routes or afternoon routes, or keeping a stockpile of drivers. And so that's been a main focus. That's my report, unless there's any questions.
Second.
Thank you.
Discussion? Being none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you, Director Luttrell. Treasurer Deeds report, Ms. Murphy she's here, does not want to speak, but has a report in your packet. I'll take a motion to approve that when you're ready.
Second.
Any discussion? Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you, Ms. Murphy, for being here. Trustees report also is in your packet. Do I hear a motion for that one?
Motion.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. And the road superintendent is here, Mr. Steve Murphy.
Mayor, Commissioners, to this calendar date, we've paved right at 24.92 miles. All of our side mowers and everything's running. Our arm tractors are still running. We're just trying to do some patching, still clean, trying to fix some stuff where we had storm damage. We're still working on some of that and just doing our regular maintenance. And that concludes my report.
Motion to approve.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Expo Center report, Ms. Gill Hibbett.
Good evening, and I will also keep this very short. But when I first got here, I put out on your desk an updated accounting for June, which was significantly different than the first one that went out, because the first one that went out had to go out much sooner than all of our numbers came in. So I just wanted you to see that, and I was really super excited about it because the expo expenses fluctuates from month to month, and we were able to cover all of the expenses. So that was extremely exciting because it was a really tough month just in terms of events. I also put on your desk just a highlight of what we've got coming up in the next 3 months. And I will try to do that for you periodically when I come so that you guys can see what we've got coming if you haven't checked the Facebook. The Facebook is always up to date. The website, I only put the public events on. So if you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. I can tell you that I am diligently working on booking 2023 and beyond.
Hear a motion?
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Ms. Gill. We appreciate your hard work in keeping us full at the expo. Report from Public Works Committee, Commissioner Weathers.
No report.
Ag Center, Commissioner Scruggs. Animal Control, Commissioner Marlowe.
No report.
Audit, Commissioner Bernard.
No report.
Cable Tax, Commissioner Walker.
Yes, sir. The Cable TV Committee met Thursday evening, July 15th, 6 p.m. in the upstairs courtroom. Minutes will be in next month's packet.
We don't have anything to report on tonight. Development Tourism, Commissioner Vanatta.
I don't have a report, but I do have a comment. Sandra Dowdy sent me the updated hotel motel tax, and we, over May of 2019 to May 2021, we're up over $95,000. That's exciting.
Thank you. Ethics, Commissioner Ash.
No report.
Finance, Commissioner Weathers.
No report.
Health and Recreation, Commissioner Patton.
No report.
Insurance, Commissioner Ash.
No report.
Judicial, Commissioner Glover.
No report.
Planning and Zoning, Commissioner McFarland. Rules, Commissioner Gentry.
No report.
Urban Type Facility Board, Commissioner Scruggs.
Facility Board met, July the 2nd.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Finance Director's Report, Mr. Aaron Maynard.
Could you bring up the county website for me? Just, if y'all will give me 2 minutes briefly, if you will go to County Commission, and then the 21-22 budget. There's a transmittal letter there, but if you'll go to Fund Summaries, that second tab under the general fund, you see all your funds are listed there. I just want you guys to see how this actually works. In case you need to talk to somebody about it, if you'll continue to page down, you'll get all your nice charts and graphs. Keep paging. And then there's your actual budget, your 21 budget versus your 22 budget on all your various revenues. And if you keep paging down, you'll find your expenditures. If you'll go over to departments for a second, you could go to any fund. I'm going to pick on, doesn't seem to be, so we'll pick on the mayor. He's the first one there. Okay, so each department has a narrative. 30 degrees is less than room temperature. I think he's... keep paging down for me, Aaron, I'm sorry. Your charts and graphs and things, and then we get to the numbers. So if you want to see the numbers in the budget, your budget numbers are all there. Your 21 estimated, your 22s, so on. So if you want to go that route, that is what everything looks like in ClearGov. Okay, we're going to find some more stuff for you. I just wanted you to have a 2-minute overview of how it works. You simply go to County Commission, click on 21-22 budget. Anything you want to find should be there.
You like it?
I like it. It's going to get better, but I like it. I'm working with them on some things I want to see. In the meantime, I've had a couple of commissioners ask me for physical copies. Okay, well, there's no pretty pictures. If you want copies of the budget, the tax rate resolutions and the budget documents as were sent into the state, I will make you a binder. I just need to know who you are, because I wasn't gonna come in here with 25 of them unless you asked me for them. So if you will email me and tell me you want a paper copy, Dan has one. I promised this one to Mr. McFarland. If you want a paper copy, you can have one. Ms. Annette, you want one? Okay. Yes, sir.
Does this show your checkbook balance like you spent so much out of the budget, how much is left?
It will, sir. It will, over the course of time. Right now, we don't have anything out there for, so if you don't mind, Aaron, scroll back down this way a little bit. That fiscal year 21 estimated, okay? That is my most up-to-date numbers that were fed to them at that point in time. Those numbers are not final. The numbers in your book are probably more final than those, because I actually had to project. But each month going forward, yes, you'll see those numbers. You'll see July, like you're talking about. You'll see your July expenditures. Yes, sir. You'll see that going forward. You'll also see a place eventually we're working on where a person can go in and they can put in their assessed value of their property, have it calculate their tax bill, and tell them where it's going. How much of it's going to the sheriff's department, how much of it's going to WEMA, finance, schools, how much is going where. So all that's being worked on, and that's, again, I think it's a step forward for us. I just want you to know where it is, and if you want a paper copy, I'm more than happy to provide you with one.
Commissioner Marlowe?
Aaron, I understand about the paper copy, but will this eventually be more complete and more accurate than the paper copy?
Within 30 days.
Okay.
Within 30 days. But as Commissioner McFarland mentioned to me, you know, I'm speaking for him, paraphrasing, you know, I'm oftentimes out places where I might not have a computer or might not have internet access talking to somebody about the budget. So I'd like to have a paper copy.
Commissioner Walker?
Just real quick, thank you. I got the paper copy. Real quick, I'd asked for that index or chart of accounts a year or two back from finance. Is it possible to get that and the graph?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't even recall that, sir. But yeah, we're more than happy to give you the chart of accounts. The Comptroller's Office puts out a new one every year. I think we just got one in the last couple of weeks.
I think we put an index into our last budget book. If you look at the last one.
Yeah, the index probably not going to happen because the budget book, if this one is just, this is an exception.
Helps
not
me
the rule.
get to the page.
Yeah.
And the hard copy.
Not sure it's worth the effort, but again, I work for you, so I'll see what I can do.
It was one of the only things I asked for when I was on finance committees.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely.
Gentry?
Yeah.
Just another, when you say you can eventually get your taxes and see where they go,
Mhm.
is that going to be on ClearGov as
It
well?
is.
In the same site, Wilson County?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Anyone else? Commissioner Jones? Nope. Anybody else? Aaron, anything else?
Yeah, last thing, we went out for bid on the emergency communication system. We will check with them. We didn't know what the deadline was going to be as far as the final regulations, but I believe, if I remember correctly, people wanted to know, instead of saying $3 million, how much is it going to cost? And the answer is about, based on the bid, is about $3.3 million. That bid was opened on July 16th. That bid is good for 60 days, which would only get you to September 14th, which doesn't give you time for the final regulations to come out, have another meeting, and do whatever other due diligence you need to do. So we will work with that vendor and see if we can get them to extend that term. So that's really all I have.
Any other questions?
Motion for the report.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you, Mr. Maynard. Report from the Budget Committee, Commissioner Marlowe.
Budget Committee met in regular session Tuesday, July the 8th. Minutes are in your packet. Move they be received and filed.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Marlowe.
Resolution 21-7-4 to amend amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make an appropriation from the general fund to library.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote.
Mine doesn't work.
Mine don't work. So is that.
What about all in favor, say
Way too much money.
Not working? Aaron, any thoughts on it?
New system.
Can we do voice vote? Call the roll?
You know, that's true. I didn't think about that.
Okay, we'll call the roll. I'll work down the aisle if that's good. Can I just work down, or you gonna call it? You call it?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Yep.
Aye.
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 Yes.
Yes.
Everybody good with your vote? Please record. 22-0, resolution passes.
Resolution 21-7-5 to amend the budget and appropriation resolutions for the 21-22 fiscal year for line item transfers in Ag Center in Fund 124.
Motion to approve.
Any discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote. Won't work any better.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
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 Yes.
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 Please record. 22-0, 3 absent. Resolution passed.
Resolution 21-7-6 to reflect revenues received but not included in the original budget, and to amend the budget and appropriation resolution to make additional appropriations of one-time expenditures to various departments.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? Please cast your vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Yes.
Aye.
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 Yes.
Yes.
Please record. 22-3, resolution passes. Any old business to come before the body? Commissioner Walker?
New business.
Any new business? Commissioner Walker?
Just like to update the commission on the Cable TV Committee Thursday night. We had our first meeting talking about broadband throughout the county. With this $28 million the county have, it's an opportunity for the first time to the county to have a matching 50-50 grant program with the providers. So what we discussed Thursday night is developing a needs requirement list through the schools, both Wilson County schools and Lebanon Special School District. So we had the IT director present, Mr. Jared Cook, and he's going to be working closely. We're creating a survey that are going to go out to all the children in Wilson County schools, and I'm meeting with Mr. Scott Benson and his IT director Friday morning. So we should have this survey developed by this week. It'll go out to all the schools, and hopefully we're going to get 100% participation. So we will have all the needs for the underserved and unserved students for broadband in the county. So we'll have a needs survey. We're going to take that needs survey in paper, and we're going to get with our GIS. So Tom Brashear is researching the best avenue to tie it into GIS for mapping. And the providers, the TDS of the world, the AT&T, the Comcast, Chart, they all have maps of their service area. Once we have our needs map and their service area maps, we're going to overlay them. They're going to submit to the county, and we're going to adopt the exact same funding grant program, 50/50 match, that's run at the state. We'll match it identically. What we won't allow them to do is come to us first. They're going to have to exhaust all the federal funds, all the state funds, before they apply for any grant money at the county level. So we're going to run it just like the state. We will have an absolute needs assessment at the county level that we've never had before. And I want to thank Mr. Jeff Luttrell for allowing us to work closely together with Mr. Jared Cook on that. And thank you, Commissioner Kurtz, for putting me in touch with Scott Benson over at Lebanon Special School District. That's all I have.
Any other new business? Don't forget, Miss Galen is in the back if you want to buy a tag. I need one more motion. Adjourn.